What do people who are close to you have to say about the boy or girl that you're dating? What does your family have to say? Sometimes people dismiss that. Be very careful. What's the general feedback that you are receiving from people close to you about that man or woman that you're dating? If they volunteer their opinion, listen carefully. One of your friends may not hit it off with the man or woman you are dating, may not like him or her. But that's not a problem. That's not a warning sign. There's no one in the world who's liked by everyone. Everyone has some people that they can't get along with. However, if everyone or almost everyone that you trust is telling you that something is wrong, that's a warning sign. That's a red flag. A woman raised her hand recently at a dating class and said, I wish I had heard this advice a few years ago. When I was dating my ex-husband, everyone that I'm close to told me that I was making a mistake. I did not listen. As soon as she finished sharing her experience, another woman raised her hand and said, same here. I'm divorced with children. Everyone I knew told me that my ex-husband was and still is immature and incompetent, but I did not listen. I thought that I knew better, and now I'm paying the price for it. Likewise, I met a wonderful man on an airplane who told me about his disastrous marriage. When I asked him what advice he would give to other people, he said, tell people to listen to people they love and they trust. But sometimes love is blind, so we don't want people to tell us what to do. But it's not appropriate. If you have family members, several people are telling you something's wrong here, take a look. You need to take that good look. He said the following, tell people to listen to people they love and trust. There's only one person in the world that I love and trust, the man said, that's my aunt. She told me not to marry my ex-wife, but I thought I knew better. I've heard these confessions all the time. On one hand, you think you know it all, you trust yourself to listen to your inner voice, but you have to remember, we spoke about this a long time, infatuation starts to work on you. A chemical reaction between you and the man, you and the woman. So you discount everything that's in front of you because you don't want to know about it. Infatuation feels good, and you don't want to let that feeling go. I'm liking this now. I'm having a good time. So leave me alone. He's a good guy. She's a good guy. Even though they can demonstrate and they can show you 5 or 6 good reasons why that person is toxic for you. Yet you continue forward. Such feelings of infatuation can lure you into a situation you may regret for the rest of your life. Infatuation is so powerful that it can even do damage on a subconscious level. For example, a woman named Brenda told me a story about a man she dated. Although he was rude, he was inconsiderate, she couldn't stop thinking about him. She was so attracted to him that she didn't want to admit the truth. He had the maturity of a 16-year-old. I told you the story about the girl from Mexico City. I got a phone call I have a client, a Syrian boy, his fiancée to-be's best friend. They called me and said, listen, we sat with her and we created a top 10 list for her, which I know you're very fond of. The guy that she's going out with doesn't have one. And guess what? We decided, my fiancée to-be was in Miami, so I flew in to see her, and her friend came, and this boy followed her to Miami. Would you talk to her? Why? Because at a wedding with 600 people there, the boyfriend saw her in the lobby. She was chatting with someone. He smacked her in the face. Right in front of 600 people. And she went back to him. That's infatuation. So I got her on the phone. Actually, she called me up. She was standing right there in the Aventura Mall, in my former state where I lived. I said to her, can I ask you a question? Does he have a job? No. Does he have a Rabbi to guide him? No. Does he learn? No. Do your parents like him? They can't stand him. So what are you doing to yourself? You're going to destroy your life. She tells me she has 2 sisters that are married to wonderful people that are working, hard-working people, and they have a good reputation. I said, you're going to be the black sheep of your family forever. Thank God that Motzei Shabbat, they called me to tell me she broke it off. You have to be very cautious. Infatuation can mislead you. Again, she was so attracted to him, she didn't want to admit the truth. He had the maturity of a 16-year-old. She was so worried that her friends and family would see through him that she would never introduce him to anyone. But it wasn't a conscious decision. I had a relative, a cousin of mine, years ago. She went out with a boy that wasn't good for her. And she'd jump out of her second floor bedroom every time to date him. against my uncle's wishes. Again and again and again. Everyone told her he's not good for you, but she couldn't see. She was infatuated. Okay? To make a long story short, she lives in Israel, divorced 10 years ago, and a mess of a life. Got to listen to the people that are around you. She remarried a second time, didn't work out again, because the husband passed away. Whatever it is, if you don't get, I always tell people, if you don't get the blessing of your parents, I'm worried about that. You want the blessing of your parents. It's very important. That beracha is essential for your success. She was so worried that her friends and family would see through him that she never introduced him to anyone in the family or her friends. But it wasn't a conscious decision. She didn't sit down one day and decide, I'm not going to introduce him. It was an unconscious decision. She didn't realize that she was avoiding introducing them until they started to question her.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.